Glad you're all here with me, Coach Russ, and we are attacking fanatical prospecting. Guys, there is so much that is bouncing around my text strings regarding the time chapter. I think we're still going to hang with some of that, as well as just chapter 9, the 4 objectives of prospecting. A lot of content to cover, a lot of great nuggets, a lot of things, man, that I see in everybody's life happening or are not serving them, that I cannot wait to hear what you guys also pulled out of this. So with that being said, the room is yours. What do you got? Gary, your mic is hot, my dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was from
I would have just taken you there. We'll go to Dorothy first.
I read chapter 9 yesterday, and I read it late at night, and it just was so, there was a lot in it, like you said. It was 10:30 at night when I was reading. Like normally I wouldn't even read. I'd be forgetting.
Were you using this?
No, it was too late. I was having a hard time keeping my eyes open.
Always have that highlighter with you. Highlight those sections. It makes it easy to come back in here and share your thoughts. And I want to hear from all of you. So keep looking, because I know there's nuggets that jumped out at you last night. And Dorothy, we're going to kick to you, then Doug.
I was struck by the kid that hired the plumber. I mean, we did not hire the plumber and the electrician because he was saving money by doing the job himself. And then his boss said, okay, here's how much it really cost you. And I went, oh, that's why you get a VA from Fiverr.com. That's all I got.
So question for you guys real quick. Is Dorothy breaking up for you?
No.
Perfect. Just want to make sure on my end, not yours. And absolutely, Dorothy, this really knowing your value, knowing your worth, knowing what, when you are doing the time on the task of lead gen, what your value is. And then you get to decide, am I really saving money? I hear so many times agents say, well, I can't hire somebody to do my CRM. I can't hire somebody to do my transaction management. I can't hire somebody when you can get a VA for like $7 an hour. Doug, what do you got, brother?
Well, it kind of goes, the kind of overall thing here is the mindset of being your own CEO, where you are responsible for everything. The buck stops with you, with me. It's my responsibility to generate the highest return on investment possible. It's my responsibility to make the largest commissions available. And it's my responsibility to steward the scarcest resource that I've got, which is time. And what you just brought up, the thing about VAs, boy, is that a time multiplier, because you really the opportunity there is you also take responsibility there to make sure that they know what they're supposed to be doing. And Russ told us to break it down so that I believe his favorite term is so that a monkey can do it in a simple process. I can't hear you, Russ. Your mic.
A trained monkey does.
A trained monkey can do it. Yes.
Yeah, that's literally the level of detail. It came from when I had my home inspection company. Everybody wanted Russ to do the inspection, and by everybody meaning you real estate agents, because not only was it an incredible inspection, the report was educational, not volatile. And so I wound up breaking down the inspection process and the tool that I use, the technology, into, let's just say a bedroom. They walk into a bedroom, ceiling, inspect, and check the boxes that were potential options. Walls, inspect, and check the boxes that were potential options. doors. I mean, every single item in a bedroom, flooring was broken down with boxes of any comment I would use. So the $1 million question is, are you doing that for the VAs you're leveraging? Because Doug's right. A VA is only as good as you are as a leader. And here's the other piece on that, since we're talking this leverage time management piece right now. Anytime something goes awry with somebody on your team that you've hired, again, it's one of three things. There's either no system in place. If there's a system, number two, there's a missing or broken process. So you want them to get all your paperwork done from appointment set to showing up on the listing. If you don't have a system, all of that, the VA can't launch it. And then if they're doing it and something goes wrong, odds are there's a missing or broken process. Something's not dealt. So it's either a missing or broken whole system. A system is just a bunch of little processes. A missing or broken process. Only after those two boxes are dialed can it be a people problem. And I see so many times someone says, oh, my VA's no good. VAs don't work. By the way, just like they say, leads don't work. Oh, the leads I get are bad. No, you don't have a system or you're missing processes. Always go to those first before you make it a people process. By the way, there's one other nugget in here, Doug, as we're talking leverage. We're hiring a plumber. We're hiring a VA so we can do what?
We are hiring
Prospecting is what you should be last to let go of as a leader, rainmaker, CEO. And yet I hear, I need leads. When we look at the internet, I need leads. People want to avoid the number one job of being successful in this or any other industry. And that's not the case at all. You need to get out there and do the work of conversations to find the leads. And again, let's get back into our four things, the four items of why we're prospecting. Jeanette, what do you have?
I just, we have been working with VAs for probably 3 or 4 years. And everything that Russ has said, it's called out the leadership in me at a whole new level. I have to be a better person. I have to be more diligent, because now it's like having kids with a mouth to feed in that way. So you parents who are already working with your kids, you parents have got something on those of us who've never had kids or haven't had to do that. If you want to look at an advantage you have, you don't realize you have. The point is, you tell them exactly what to do, and then you follow up with it. And we're rebuilding some systems right at the moment. And there's some of those things you can delegate to the VA and say, here, go build the system. But you have to make sure that they know what it was that's doing it, because it does free up for more. This form change has been a reestablishment of, okay, so what do we need to change in our systems? But once the systems are there, you still can go back and train to them. We happen to lose 2 of our main people. I lost my main transaction coordinator, or we lost our main transaction coordinator, and we lost our executive assistant at the same time. One to shingles. She was gone. She's been gone for 3 months. She's starting to come back. So the point is that the systems, what he's saying, and everybody who's in here who is going to be more than just a high paid CEO employee of their own company, we have to get past ourselves. We don't get an option.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're just going to keep going around the same mountain.
And Jeanette, the key with this is you and I talked about, so this is going to be redundant for you, but open to everybody else in the room. If the systems are documented to the point a trained monkey can do them, if you have a person drop out, it's easy to get someone else plugged into that. You do a proper recruiting, a proper career visioning to where you make sure that they're a personality style match to the job versus a background, education, experience match to the job, and they can plug in and run with it almost immediately. That's why that piece is so key. Ryan, what do you got, brother?
I think this is a fascinating conversation because real estate is one of the biggest industries in America, and it's the least run as a business that I've ever seen. And it is fascinating that most people in our industry can't get past that for themselves. Like, it's so much tremendous opportunity because I'm going to take over everybody's business. Like, that's how I feel. Like, there's just so many people that can't run a business that they're going to be working for somebody, and it's going to be me. That anyways, sorry, that's a little tangent, but it drives me crazy when people just can't get out of their own way. Let's, get it. You want to get paid like a CEO, start acting like one.
You know what, Ryan? I'm going to bring that song in for you. Fine Young Cannibal, She Drives Me Crazy. That'll be one of our openings here just for you. Because you're right. There's a lot of craziness that goes on in our industry with people that think they know it all rather than being lifelong students, with people that see because of what's in TV and the public domain, oh, this is easy. And yet they won't do the core piece of prospecting. And I want to, before I come to you, Kim, read one nugget that I loved from page 73. Prospecting in many ways is a brutal contact sport that shuns the nuance, art, and finesse of moving a deal through the sales pipeline. It's all about brute numbers, guys. It's turning over rocks, looking to find the business that's happening. X number of transactions are going to happen this week in your market, with or without you. A real estate agent didn't go out and create a seller. They went out and found someone who was ready to sell. And those exist every single week, no matter what. You get to go out there and find them by prospecting. Kim, go.
I am 100% with Ryan on that one. I cannot believe the amount of agents that are in their own way, getting out of the business, getting jobs, and these are top performers, or at least at one point were top performers, and nobody wants to put the work in. Like you just said, you turn over every rock. That's how you make money. That's how you do business. And people don't treat it like a business. They treat it like a job. They treat it like a hobby. I'm 100% with Ryan on that.
So are you so 100%, you, Ryan, everybody else, that you're out there turning over the rocks for talent to find who's ready to come and be a part of your world?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's what I do every day.
And I know you do, Ryan, and I'm looking at 18 other people right now. And I can't wait, by the way, the 11 o'clock accelerators meeting I'm going to be opening on, and we might bring some of the content right into that room because it's very applicable to every aspect of this business, whether you're looking to get consumers and build the transactions or get talent to leverage, whether it's VA talent, in-office talent, agent talent. It's the same damn process. You're prospecting. Glenna, I see your mic's out. What do you got? And then Justin, I'm coming to you.
Oh, I've already said it. I was just agreeing with what Ryan and Kim said. And what you're saying about people not treating this industry as a business. And I
And
say
here's
that
the
to my
fun part.
mentees all the time.
The fun part for me, Glenna, I see you showing up in other rooms now, especially in the afternoon prospecting room. Not only are you agreeing, you're taking it and creating action with it, which is key. Justin, go.
So I've got a couple of little things. Page 72 and 73, they go through different scenarios as far as your situation and what what makes a prospecting objective or developing an appropriate prospecting objective. Like of those, the one that made the most sense to me would be the fourth one at the top of page 73. And I see the CRM as probably, not that I don't have it, but as far as utilization or making it make sense, like that's been a piece that I could certainly work on. So 2 questions. First one, do you see any of those other bullet points as more applicable to what we do versus what I was saying? And the second question comes from what Kim said with regard to these people that were top performers and now are not showing up or not doing the work. Are those people that maybe they got lucky, they got in on a good cycle or a good something and don't want to do the work, or you think those are people that know how to do the work and are inherently lazy or choosing not to at a later time?
I'll address that part first. Anybody who got a real estate license from 2013 through 2022 was not a real estate salesperson. They were an order taker. It was easy. Business was flowing. There was more business than we all could handle, and it was everywhere. So it was simple and easy, and business flowed. When the market shifted 22, now we are truly having to be salespeople and overturning rocks. And so they've got to learn the skills and the habits that make the difference. The habits, as he talks about in the timepiece, of time blocking and laser focusing on conversations. They're starving because it's not easy anymore, Justin. That's it. So let's get to these objectives, okay? And I want to read them into the room since he mentioned the numbers. So if you have a highly qualified database of prospects in your CRM, the primary objective of most of your prospecting calls will be setting appointments as the buyer window opens to start the sales process. The secondary objective will be building familiarity to increase the probability that your prospect will engage when the buying window opens. So let's go to consumers. How many home owners are truly never selling? Like about that much? Kim yesterday was a great example. Somebody she's been dripping on for 6 years called her and said, I'm ready to list. She's been doing the prospecting, making the calls, leaving the messages, sending the texts, 6 years of a minimum every quarter doing that. She was doing the secondary part of this. How many of you, by show of hands, know an area where there are houses? Wow, I got to work with some of you because I ain't seeing hands up for some of you. Okay, that means you have a CRM. It may not be organized, it may not be written down, yet every single house has somebody living in it. Odds are they own that house, especially if you've done your research on markets. And that's a great place to start building that familiarity. Okay, couple others though that we're kind of overlaying, just so Justin knows. Number 5, if the product or service you are selling can only be purchased during specific buying windows, like when a contract expires or kids graduate from high school or whatever else is going on in their world, or within a defined budgetary period, we can't buy till we get some more revenue in and clear up our credit, Gathering information to qualify the buying window will be your primary objective, and building familiarity your secondary objective with most calls. You don't want to waste time setting an appointment with a prospect that can't buy because of a contractual or budgetary restraint. Okay. And then my favorite, the last one, if you are new in your territory or working for a startup, which means you're new to the business, or maybe you're restarting your real estate career because you've been lazy, your primary objective will be gathering information so you can identify decision makers and qualify buying windows and budgets. The second objective is building familiarity. So with all three of these, what's the secondary objective? Building
relationships.
Top of mind awareness. The reason we have the quarterly minimum conversation, whether they answer or not, the reason we have the other parts of the 36 touch, the other 32 touches via email, social media, text, direct mail, is to build that familiarity so when they think of real estate, they think of you. If you go to the book Outliers or any of Trout and Reese's research, you will find that your mind is like a file cabinet. Everybody's is. And in any particular category, you have items. Chris, let's have some fun. Turn your mic on. I've never done this with you.
All right, let's go.
What's your favorite cocktail, buddy?
Dude, you got me on that because I don't drink. An Arnold Palmer. How about that? Let's say an Arnold Palmer. Because I'm not an alcohol ick.
So not a Tom Daly, huh?
I'm not a drinker, man.
All right.
So about not work.
I'm looking for someone just to have you ever had a cocktail?
Sadly, yes, and it came right out. So we're gonna have some fun here. Yep.
This is going to be actually fun.
Okay.
What particular cocktail comes to mind?
An Arnold Palmer.
Well, that doesn't. Tom Daly has liquor, and Arnold Palmer doesn't.
Okay, so Tom, so you got me. Like I know alcohol, like I know cubicles.
A margarita. Just say margarita.
Gary, I want to stay on this a moment. Bear with me, and I'll come back.
Okay.
Because your alcohol part of your brain, because you're not engaged in it, has nothing. From just what you've heard in the room, can you think of any particular cocktail?
Margarita.
Perfect. It just came to mind. What tequila do you want in that margarita?
I'll just do it. Tito's.
And Carrie, stop. Carrie, stop.
Okay.
Yep.
Because this is an important takeaway for everybody. That file cabinet is empty because he's not engaged in it. For all of your sellers, real estate agent is probably as empty as Chris's is related to tequila because he's not engaged in it.
Mm-mm.
And if I had someone who was, they might have a number 1 tequila, a 2, maybe a 3, and then there's nothing. Each file cabinet only has a possibility of 3. And if you go ask when you're at an open house, and you ask people who are coming in, who is your real estate agent of choice? I challenge you to write down that question. And anybody you talk to, I'm doing a research project. I'm curious, who is your real estate agent of choice? I will bet you that 80 to 90% have none. And building familiarity is going to put you in that slot by yourself as long as you maintain the relationship. So what else do you guys have? Ryan, go, buddy.
This is what, like in layman's terms, you're building a business out of rapport. Okay. You don't have to be somebody's friend. You don't have to You have to build the rapport and understand the value of what you bring behind it. So what Coach Russ is telling you guys is to build a business. Okay, build the business, but build it on based on rapport and as many conversations as you possibly can do. And that's what's going to set you apart. You know, like if Chris didn't have that in his file cabinet up here, like I don't drink either. But at the same time, like you got to think of what other people in the room are thinking about. Like, are they thinking about real estate every hour of every day like you are? No, they're thinking about their life, guys. So how do you make an impact on them? So that's the business that we're in, and you got to switch your mind. Stop trying to be like everybody's cuddle friend. Start understanding the rapport and the value behind it, and that's what changes the game, guys. That's what makes you unstoppable.
Absolutely. By the way, Chris, thank you for that. I have never had someone in that space in a decade of teaching that little piece. And it was so much fun because it's such a blatant, obvious, as Ryan is saying, of what most people in our world are thinking about real estate. You realize if it wasn't for real estate agents, our consumers would have no idea about all these changes going on right now. But because we were all about it, now they're starting to pay attention to it. Jeanette, your mic's on. What do you have?
Well, first off, it's exciting to see for all those who think that they have to drink when they go someplace, that they can see that there are top producers who are not drinking anything. That's a great word right there. And you don't have to drink to be successful. So I do enjoy wine. I've had on and off. That's not the point of all of this, but I applaud you. 73, page 73. This is an aha for me in some ways because prospecting is a contact sport. But what's the first line? Prospecting in many ways is a brutal contact sport that shuns the nuance, art, and finesse of moving the deal through the sales pipeline at first, because you're prospecting. So you just need to be effective and know what you're looking for. So who is the person who is in that window of service that you want to work with? And when you talk to them, where do you put them in that window of service? Do they stay in the DMD4 and they're 3, 6, 8? That's why we have ABC, 3 months, 3 to 6, 8 to 12. But and to be efficient, you need to get in as many prospecting touches as possible during each prospecting block. This is actually helping me a lot. The next part, prospecting is not for building relationships, selling, or chatting up your buyer. It's for setting the appointment, qualifying, and building familiarity. Familiarity is not necessarily the same as building relationships. This is helpful to me, because I'll tell you, one of the biggest things has been, it's like, okay, well, I get on the phone with these people I know, and then, how do you get off again so you don't have a half-hour conversation? Well, remember that they're at work too. And so take that as a respectful thing. It's like, hey, I'm just checking in with you. Hope you're doing well. And let you know I'm thinking about you. You might have a little bit, but 5 minutes, they're at work. Their boss does not want them spending a half an hour on the phone unless it's going to bring sales into their company. So there was actually a little bit of freedom given to me here that it's okay. There's a sweet spot with each person we're talking to, and we can look for it. So that was helpful to me.
Awesome. Well, guys, appreciate today, Tuesday. So we have a couple things today. Let me get rid of the recording real